Welcome, everyone, to another edition of Stepping Up to the Plate, a very special edition, one where we're going to be celebrating the Milton High football team, Division III Super Bowl-bound Wildcats. Congratulations to Coach Steve Dembowski and the Wildcats on a great season so far. Tough one against the Braintree Womps at Braintree on Thanksgiving Day. Took a 33-19 loss in that one, but still a lot to play for. And we were able to get out there to meet up with some of the players, quarterback Patrick Miller, Ferris Collins, safety wide receiver, Ben Caledonia, and Josh Riccardi, all captains on the team. And we were able to chat with them about the Super Bowl upcoming on Thursday at Gillette Stadium. Here we go. We're rolling here with the Wildcats, who are now trying to lick their wounds from a 33-19 loss here to Braintree on Thanksgiving, but bigger game ahead now in the Division III Super Bowl. We're here with Patrick Miller.
Yep.
Patrick, can you talk a little bit about what lies ahead for this team?
You know, like you said, tough loss today, but we have bigger things to worry about. You know, I think we've got to have a good long week of practice, got to focus up. We've played Walpole earlier this year, we lost, but I think this time around things might be different. I think if we just keep our heads down and focus, the outcome will change.
How motivated will you guys be having come off that loss against Walpole, which was your first of the season?
Mm-hmm.
And how motivated will you be, or having been through the experience of being there?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously great to go back, and like you said, we've already been there last year, so some of us know the feeling of Gillette, like, you know, the bright lights, and you know, beating them or losing them early in the year. You know, Coach Dembo, we all knew we didn't play our best games. You know, we were kind of hoping to see him again, knowing the outcome would be different, and I think we're excited for that too.
And how are you feeling? I know it was a tough sack to take, and came up a little banged up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll be good. I'll be fine. I'll be good for next week.
Okay, pal. All righty. And now we're joined by Ferris Collins. Ferris had a big touchdown reception there. You seem to get this team jump-started in the second there. And then just tell me a little bit about, you know, what the motivation will be going forward now for this team, you know, especially after that last game against Walpole.
Yeah, definitely just getting in the right headspace before the game. Like, we got to be focused up right off the bus. Got to read our keys, stop the run. It's really all comes down to just doing what we're coached to do.
And just one thought, I mean, as you guys prepare, how will you draw upon the experience of having been there?
You know, it's a pretty big advantage, honestly, under those bright lights. There's nothing really like it. Going there last year, it was a lot of fun, but definitely a lot of pressure, so hopefully we'll use that to our advantage and give you a different result than what we saw earlier this season.
And I'm going to get both of you guys here, both Josh Riccardi and Ben Caledonia. Gentlemen, just having had that experience of walking out onto Gillette Stadium now, you know that Walpole has not been there, done that, but you guys have. How motivated will you be to finish the job this time around?
I mean, very motivated. It's a revenge game in both ways. Revenge for last year and a revenge for losing Walpole. So I feel like we just have to come out and be mad and just use that anger and just hit the other team and just win.
And Josh, I mean, what will you need to do to do the job against Walpole?
Well, yeah, like Pat said, we have a nice long week of practice, so we're just gonna need to lock in and every day and practice hard, make sure we're ready on all cylinders, offense, defense, special teams, just play better.
All righty. Thank you. Well, that was a great chat with those young men, and you know, they're excited to be going back to the Super Bowl, as is the rest of Milton. A bit of a programming note: the game will be on YouTube/Patriots. YouTube/Patriots. You can catch the live stream on that on Thursday. The game will be at 8 o'clock at Gillette Stadium. And all of Milton is going to be congregating at 6th String like they did last year, only it will be at 5 o'clock before the 8 o'clock game start. And be on the lookout for Shane Brandenburg from Milton Access TV and the crew. They'll be out there to film, get some questions, and do some interviews. So if you see them, come on up and say hello. And we hope that everyone will get out there. It's going to be an unbelievable game. Al, happy to be joined here by my main man, Al Prizzuti. You know, you're looking at a Bay State Conference rematch here in the Super Bowl between Milton and Walpole. Milton will be 8-4. They'll be the higher seed at number 3, and right behind them at the number 4 seed is Walpole, and they'll be 9-3. And they, as I mentioned, had met previously this year. It would have been in, I believe, week 6, because Milton wound up going into that game with a 5-0 record. They had come off a really intense victory over Needham, 10-9 at Brooks Field. Then they went on the road to play at Walpole, a team they beat a year ago in that 12-0 run or 11-0 run that they had going into the Super Bowl. And they took a tough 42-23 loss against the Timberwolves. No longer the Rebels, they're the Timberwolves now. Notable about that game, Al, was the performance of two people, I thought, was Noah McKenzie, the sophomore or the junior quarterback for Walpole, and Jamal Abdul Kalak, who is about a 6'4" receiver, unbelievable guy. He had 2 touchdowns and he had an interception return for a touchdown against Milton. So far this season, he has made 51 catches for 1,110 yards, Al. And Noah McKenzie has thrown 28 touchdown passes, and he's second only behind Patrick Miller for Milton, who has 29. And his top receivers have been Luke, I want to say Luke Salmon, but it's Ronan Salmon, Luke's younger brother, who has 12, team leading 12 touchdowns. And then you have Ferris Collins with 6, and I believe Luke Haley with 6 as well. So they're an unbelievable group. And it's interesting, Al, because a year ago, Milton with Owen McHugh at quarterback, Jack Finnegan at running back, and a wide receiving core that was just loaded. And they had Michael Fulton, Dylan McKenzie, Shane Olson, and, of course, Luke Salmon. And they could spread you out and go deep, throw underneath. And Owen McHugh had 31 touchdown passes that year. And, of course, the Wildcats went all the way to the Super Bowl. It was the first time they got there. And we were able to document that in a beautiful documentary, Season to Savor, which will air immediately after the show. And so keep an eye out for that. But it was an unbelievable game. And, you know, now here they are again. You know, as Coach Dembowski said following the big win against Westfield that put them into the Super Bowl, that, you know, that was a tough act to follow. And, you know, but I think the team heeded the call, you know, when I put the question to them during the banquet. I said, who's got next? You know, which is this team going to be the one that's got next? And are they going to continue the championship culture here in Milton? And I think by all accounts they have. Even though, Al, they've taken some tough losses, like I mentioned, the one against Braintree, and then they had the 3 consecutive losses, beginning with the one at Walpole that was followed by another at Taunton, and then a tough one at home on senior night, 17-16 against Natick on a narrowly missed field goal attempt at the end of the game. But and that was a game, Al, where none other than Doug Flutie came out onto the field to come out and congratulate Patrick Miller for the way he rallied his team down the field to put them in a position to win. You know.
Well,
so.
you know, it's kind of an interesting thing because if you look at the two teams, they're very similar.
Yeah.
In that Walpole started the year with 3 losses right in a row.
Yeah.
And Milton came out, won 5 in a row, and then lost 3 in a row.
Right.
But if you look at the statistics, there's a couple of interesting things there. Walpole averages more points per
Correct.
game.
Right.
But Milton gives up less points per game, and they're very close. I mean, they're only a couple of points apart on
Right.
both offense and defense.
Right.
But I think a telling thing for me is Milton has 30-some-odd seniors on that team, and I think Walpole only has 22 or 20,
Correct.
whatever it is.
Correct.
And you know, that experience with the older kids, I think sometimes can, and a better defense, I think, and a great coach, leads me to believe, if I was going to say who's going to win this, I hope they do, it'd be Milton.
Well, Al, you'd be surprised to know that in its prediction of the outcome of this game, the Boston Globe is going with Milton too,
Well,
31-30 in a tight game. But it's interesting because, you know, Milton returns 8 of 22 players from last year's team that, you know, went to the Super Bowl. And so they're going to have some experience. I think that's going to bode well, like some of the guys had said that we interviewed post, you know, Thanksgiving Day game at Braintree. You know, they've all been there. They've done that. And the defense, I think, has been spectacular, although they got gashed a little bit by James Curry at Thanksgiving Day. And, you know, but I credit Coach Dembowski because people were wondering, did he play his starters? Yeah, he played them, just as he did a year ago. He played them all. And so, you know, right now, I think they've got the attention of Walpole, I think. And
Plus,
Walpole has their attention, too.
The other big factor, and you mentioned it, is they've been there. They were there last year.
Yeah.
I mean, to be in the big field in Gillette
Unbelievable.
can be overwhelming for certain kids. You know, you don't want to make a mistake. You know, little things can sway a game like this, and Milton's been there.
Yeah.
I mean, not all of the players, but a lot of the players, like you said.
Well, no, I think a lot of them have. You know, I mean, guys who've played in that game. Nathan Huey had a big third down run in that game to convert for a first down. And that's when, like, well, he kind of leapt to the fore for me in the Braintree game when he came in after Jack Finnegan had gotten injured and came off the field. And now everyone's like, oh, my gosh, what's going to happen now? You know, one of your best players is injured and you still got the Super Bowl to play. And then Nathan Huey stepped in and, like, there was nothing. He didn't even miss a beat. Mm-hmm. You know, he ran hard and he was like, I sat there going, wow, this guy's going to be unbelievable. And so, and Nathan Huey has been unbelievable. I think he's rushed for over 800 yards right now and is closing in, I think, on a statistical, well, both he and Ronan Salmon, I should say. Nathan Huey has 879 yards rushing right now, and he's averaging 6.2 yards per rush, which is good. And then you have Ronan Salmon, who is 66 receptions for 983 yards. He's number 4 on your roster. And Nathan Huey's number 7. And then number 2, Patrick Miller, who played cornerback last year as Owen McHugh's understudy as his backup. But he was on the field a lot. He is 168 of 298 this year for 2,416 yards. And, of course, those 29 touchdowns. So I think if they have big games, both Ronan Salmon and Nathan Huey could eclipse 1,000 yards receiving and rushing. So if things go well for the Wildcats against Walpole, that'll be an interesting outcome there. But Al, to your point, nothing beats experience. The experience of walking out to the stadium like they did a year ago, of congregating and getting to the middle of the field for the opening coin toss. The preparation.
All of that stuff. They've been there. They know.
Yeah.
And I think defense wins always. To me, defense wins in big games.
Yeah.
So I think they're in. I mean, they've got to feel like they're in a good position.
They do. And the thing is, Coach Steve Dembowski had been there before.
Right.
When he was at Swampscott and he won the title there. And it was up to him a year ago to kind of convey what these guys were about to experience.
No question.
I think he succeeded in doing that. It was a year ago, the game between Milton and Wakefield was perhaps the most, if not the most, entertaining of the 8 Super Bowl games that were played at Gillette last year. And it was most of the games were kind of lopsided games. with the exception maybe of St. John's Prep and Springfield Central, which was an upset. But there's going to be, I think, one or two games that are just going to dazzle people. I think this has the potential to be that game again because you have two Bay State Conference rivals, very evenly matched. They both have dynamic players on offense. They both have very good defenses, very stout offensive lines, defensive lines. So it's going to be interesting. I think the thing about Milton is that they cannot let Walpole get out in front. If Milton can get out in front, then they can, maybe dictate tempo, but they cannot let Walpole get out in front because they're a team that can run away from you. With Jamal Abdal-Kalak, their big receiver, Noah McKenzie. They also have Logan Keys is a guy that also is another dynamic threat for Walpole. So, and you know who their offensive coordinator is? None other than Todd Collins.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Todd Collins was, an alum there, Walpole way back in the day. He wound up going to Michigan, played for 7 different teams in the NFL. Mm-hmm. So, and now he's back at his alma mater as the offensive coordinator. So it's going to be interesting to see him match wits with Steve Dembowski, who's considered one of the, bright offensive innovators in Eastern Massachusetts, if not the entire state. So, again, congratulations to the Wildcats. We want to invite everyone to get down there. If you can, get out to the high school. The team will be leaving at about 5 o'clock or so, just as everyone starts to congregate at 6th String. But if you can get out there to the Copeland Fieldhouse, there's going to be a mini rally for the team to send them off to Gillette. It'll be wonderful to see everybody get out there to send the guys off and then to run out to 6th String where everyone was going to be doing their tailgate at 6 o'clock. Be sure to look out for Shane Brandenburg and the Milton Access TV crew. They'll be conducting interviews. And if you can't get out there, you can always watch it on YouTube/Patriots. They'll be live streaming it. And it'll be on the radio as well on WEEI 590. So you'll be able to listen to the game as well. So, Al, are you going to be there? You live nearby.
No. Traffic would keep me from getting there. Unfortunately, I have other things that I have commitments. So.
Okay. All righty, Al. Well, at least one team in Foxborough will be going to the Super Bowl, and there's another that we know will not be, and that's the Patriots, Al. Unbelievable. 2-9 now. That was a hideous loss against the Giants, and it just speaks to the fact that this team has no answers. They keep trotting out the same team, and they're encountering the same thing.
I will say this about that. They do have an answer, and that's the defense.
Yeah,
They've only given up 10 points in 2 straight games and lost them both.
Yeah.
I mean, the offense is not producing anything.
No.
And that is a huge problem. And the unfortunate position that they're in is Jones is not professional caliber right now. Whether he ever gets there, I don't think so. But then you put Zappi in, and he's not much better.
No.
So you have a situation where O'Brien, Belichick, et al. Are going to have to decide who the quarterback is, and I don't think it matters. I don't think it matters if it's Zappi. I don't think it matters if it's Jones. They could win the game Sunday, but if they win the game, it's only going to be because, the defense will play well.
Yeah. Maybe the
and they're
defense will
playing
score
a team
out.
that they should beat.
The Chargers?
Yeah.
With Justin Herbert.
Well, I know, but I think their defense
Eckler, I don't know.
Defense can
And
handle.
you know what? They have a pretty good defense too, the
Well,
Chargers.
they might, and the Patriots have no offense. So let's be honest about it. If we really were Patriot fans, you'd almost want to see them go out and lose the rest of their games and get the number 1, 2, 3 pick. But that's not the way professional teams play.
All right, let's game it out, Al. They do lose the rest of their games, all right? They do get the number 1 pick. But I think the Bears have 2 of the top picks, too.
Yeah.
Do you make a deal with the Bears and get Justin Fields. Because you know what? He's already a proven commodity, I think, in NFL. And we saw, in the Monday night game against the Vikings, his capability. He's got some upside to him.
Well, kind of an interesting thing was Monday, the Patriots brought in to look at Austin Burton. And that's Ron Burton's son.
Grandson.
No,
Steve Burton's son.
Steve Burton's son.
Steve Burton's son.
Ron, the old man.
Right.
But he could be somebody that Belichick goes, he could rally this team. He hasn't played in the NFL.
No.
So
no,
but
that's
they signed Bria back up. I mean, this is a mess.
they're just. I think they're just looking to.
If one of them gets hurt, if Zappi gets hurt, or if Jones gets hurt, they'll have to have somebody that they could put in there.
Yeah. I think that's. But you know what? You're doing the kid no favors by throwing him into the.
Well, it's a funny thing.
Meat grinder like that.
Slater said it. He said, the real problem is this has become the issue about the team. That's all everybody talks about. That's all they talk about. And that's a bad thing. And it's only good if it's a good thing that you're talking about, like Brady. That's fine because he was
productive.
Yeah.
He's a leader.
They're talking about only bad things.
A transcendent talent.
How about going toward the end, everybody goes, well, should they have tried to go in and score a touchdown and go? They wanted to just get the game tied.
Yeah. I saw that. Wanted. I saw the machinations on that.
Right, and then the kid comes in and misses
a
Al, point after.
Al, oh my God, Al. I sat there and I go, this kid's going to miss it. He's going to miss it. He's going to miss it, and Belichick's going to wind up with egg on his face, and people are going to do the exact same thing. But you know what he was doing? He was playing it right by the book. And you know what? I had no problems with that.
I would have done the same thing.
I would have done the same thing.
I mean,
you figure the kid can make that. It's a chip shot.
They couldn't score.
It's like an extra point almost.
They couldn't score a touchdown in the 20.
Al,
so
they're that right
a field goal would have tied the game.
But he's bereft of answers right now.
Well, yeah, he is.
And that's the problem. That's the problem for Bill Belichick. Now, again, let's game this out. They lose the rest of their games. They get these picks. Are you going to want Belichick to make that pick?
No.
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 You're going to want someone else to make that pick, but will it be the next coach or the next GM?
Well, he's not going anywhere. He's not going
anywhere. So then he's not. If
he might say, "Look, I'll step aside in terms of the general manager stuff."
Yes,
but he's not going anywhere. He's going to be the coach next year.
Yeah.
And in fairness to him, you can't take somebody who's had a record like he's had, and then put a collection of pretty bad players together, and a pretty bad record, and say, "Get rid of them." I don't think that's not the type of loyalty you would expect.
But here's the thing, Al. A lot of this is his own making too. It's his own making because they never really settled when he had the chance to get a good offensive coordinator in here, he chose Matt Patricia, all right, for this kid.
He brought in O'Brien
and Joe Judge, and he couldn't decide between the two of them.
Yeah, but that was last year.
They did that kid a disservice. And this is the thing, that was the slippery slope that led to this kid's crisis in confidence right now. So they went out and got Bill O'Brien.
And he's done nothing.
Well, he cannot fix the guy's mechanical issues.
Well,
they work on him in practice, but the kid gets in front of a live defense that's coming, and he throws interceptions off his back foot.
If you read the internet this morning, O'Brien said it's his fault. It's his fault that he hasn't been able to move.
Of course, he's falling on the sword.
I don't think there's any answers. When you don't have the athletes, you can talk about it all you want. The coaches, guys, when they go out on the field, it's the players that win or lose the game.
And they have to execute. And you know what? The problematic thing here is that it's a simple matter of mechanics.
Yeah. Well, look at everybody.
It's a simple matter of mechanics.
I look at Casey Stengel. Casey Stengel was the manager of the Yankees. Okay?
Yeah.
I could have managed the Yankees with that lineup. And Ted Williams was stuck with the Red Sox, who had nobody behind him.
And he
manages
right,
one after the other.
Yeah.
Mike Higgins, this one, that.
And he carried his team.
Look at the players were what made the Yankees a great, not Casey Stengel.
Right. No. No one remembers Casey Stengel for being the guy that was responsible. As a player.
The point I'm getting at, look at it, you have that lineup. I mean, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
You're going to play first, you're going to play second. It's crazy.
Well, and Al, to kind of pivot here on a sharply blade skate here to the Bruins, 3 in a row now.
Look at it. I predicted this. If we go back and watch the tapes,
Okay, we'll have to go back.
you
to the
cannot go, this is a great, look at this, what a great team. That they played nobody at the start of the year. At the start of the year, teams are juggling lines,
yeah.
they're juggling defense, putting one goalie in, one goalie. It's what happens after the first of the year that matters. And the Bruins were playing so-so, had a great record, but playing so-so.
Yeah.
And what's come to bear here is that when push comes to shove, they have nobody who can win draws, especially in the zone.
Right.
Nobody.
Right.
I mean, that's where the Bergeron thing hurts more than ever. I mean, guys, this Fortress was 20%.
But you know what, though, Al?
30%.
Even if they win the draw, they cannot control the puck to
Well,
get
they
it
can't
out
get
of
it
their
out of the
zone.
But I mean, you got to
You
win
know?
it first of all to get the puck.
yeah.
And then on a tie game, you don't get the draw. The team controls action because they go in, they go out, they go
Al,
in.
at
and
Columbus, I was
3-on-3.
disturbed by one thing there at the very beginning. It was their lifeless response
Yeah, wow.
to the first period action.
Wow.
You know,
That's why they took
came out.
Swayman out.
They looked like they jumped out on top of these guys, and then they just receded. And then you had the bad exchange there where Pavel Zacha, winds up getting caught with a broken stick,
Well-
and he departs the ice, leaving these guys in effect on a penalty kill.
Yeah, but even the other thing, I mean,
And,
Grizzly.
and then Swayman pays the price by getting pulled.
Well, yeah, he
So
got
now
pulled, but
he's upset.
He missed that first one completely. He should have stopped that. I mean, Barry Peterson said, I mean, that's a play that the defenseman made a mistake, but the goalie should have stopped it. He didn't have the crease covered down, toward the post.
Correct.
The other thing was Grizzlick's giving the puck away on a pass that went from here to here,
Yeah.
and the guy breaking in. I mean,
Well,
Kreider.
I thought he was trying to handle the puck.
No, he was
And he
trying-
lost the
he was
handle
trying to
on
get
it, and then
he
the
was
guy
trying to get it to the
Prokhorov
middle.
took off with it.
He was trying to get it to the middle, and the guy cut right in front of him and won't come in. But
Well, there was a
here's-
lot of that going on too, Al,
Oh, yeah.
which is disturbing. But now, are we in a situation now here with our last 20 seconds? Are we gonna have to settle on one goalie now?
No, I think what's going to happen here, I mean, they're going to stick with the two goalies, and I think Montgomery said, look, the team wasn't playing with any enthusiasm, and I wanted to take it out so that maybe people would go, well, we've got to play harder behind Ullman in the second. He let 2 goals in as well.
Yeah.
What's going to happen is they should win the next game on Thursday at home.
Yeah.
If they perchance lose that game, then you're going to see some action here.
All right.
Changing lines or whatever.
Changing of the guard, maybe. Well, that's going to do it for us, and we want to wish everyone a great time down at Gillette Stadium. Remember to be loud, be proud for these Wildcats. We'll be playing Walpole in the Division III Super Bowl Thursday, 8 o'clock. Be there at 6th String at 5 o'clock. If you can get out to Copeland Fieldhouse, same time, we'll want to see you out there to wish these boys well. All righty, everybody. We'll see you next time. Take care.